Hello, all my wonderful friends. Chris here from As Jim Sees It. So, I'm trying to think of anything interesting that has happened thus far on the trip that I could tell you about. Well, I'm going to a job interview tomorrow at Speedway because the signal out here in the Sedona, Flagstaff, Cottonwood areas is very unpredictable. And I was in the north rim of the Grand Canyon, and that you lose a lot of signal too. It's just this place has strange energies that float through the air between the mountains, and it keeps it so you can't really get good signals. So the reason I bring that up is because I was Ubering, and the Ubering was not holding on to some of the orders. And if I hadn't called the customer from the Uber app before it dropped the signal and was on the phone with her, then I would have been in big trouble because I would not have been able to complete the order, and I had their food in my car. So I would not have gotten paid, and they would have not gotten their food, and it would have been a ding for me on the old Uber app, which reminds me, excuse me, I did get some good news today as far as, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't bring this up. It's because I'm tired. I just got done training. So there's a guy named Bob on the internet that does RV Life, is the channel, and he interviews people that do the van life, the schoolie life, all that stuff. And he's going to be interviewing me in Sedona the third week of November. Super stoked about that. Actually, I think I'm like, when I meet him, I'm going to be starstruck because this guy's like the Michael Jordan, Albert Einstein of the RV life, man. He's the wisdom keeper, the gatekeeper, Gandalf of the road life. This guy has been doing it for, I would say, Energy Edits. What's up, my man? This Bob has been doing it, I think, for 35 years, and he just loves living on the road. Can you beatbox? Let me give it a shot. I'll give it a go here in 1 sec. Ready? 3, 2, 1. How was that? Was that pretty good? When I was a little kid, I used to do the beatboxing. Anyhow, back to being normal. So, I'm going to be on that the third week in November, and I'm super stoked about that because it was good, bro. I think it was terrible. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. Right now, I'm having some delicious peanut butter from the sliced plain French bread, fresh baked in the store of Walmart, which is to die for. But yeah, I'm super stoked. I get to do an interview with him. In 2 weeks, I'll be hiking the Grand Canyon, the South Rim. I've been training it. Training in Arizona, getting my body ready and acclimated. I'm pretty confident I could, if I rested for the next 3 days, I could do it down and up. And it would be terrible, but I would be able to do it. But I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to peak my body out, periodize it like I originally intended, and move forward from there. So I've also been back to working on the screenplay that I'm going to resubmit. And it's going to be called Los Last Vigilante. And it's about a cop who decides after a drug cartel goes after his family, and they are relentless and they keep getting away with it. He's going back after them. Flying Circus, what's up, my man? How you feeling, dude? How you doing today, my man? So I'm really looking forward to it. Flying Circus, how was your day? Devin, what's up? Thor. You know what? You know what's funny? A lot of people have said that. They're like Thor. I'm not. I'm not Thor. Those guys are pretty. I'm not. I'm far from pretty. Thor in Hollywood is pretty. I'll tell you what, though. I think I could out train that guy for sure. If we went and trained in a gym like kickboxing, strength and conditioning, lifting weights, I'm pretty sure I could beat him. I'm pretty confident that if he developed a program, he might get me on like certain strength movements, like a heavy deadlift, because I don't do those. But overall strength, I'd smack that dude. Spent the day with your lady. Oh, that's awesome, man. What'd you two do? Devin, I'm down to train whenever, man. Let me know. All I focus on is functional conditioning. So, like, I use like kettlebells, um, do movements like yoga type movements with the kettlebells, uh, swings, walking Hindu rows. I use sleds and drag a sled while doing kettlebell exercises. I'm down, man. If you're in the Arizona area and you want to train, tomorrow I'm gonna be hiking for getting my body ready for the Grand Canyon. But give me 2 days, I'll train. If you're in the Arizona area, you want to meet me at a Planet Fitness. I got all the kettlebells and the sled work. We'll train together, no problem, man. I love training. I love it. That sounds like, yeah. Let me know, bro. Straight up, I'm all about. Listen, wrong pipe. I am all about meeting people, hanging out, human experience. And although this is a form of social media, like social media, I wouldn't say has killed human connection, but it's taken away from the genuine bond that socializing creates, like on a one-on-one basis. So you want to train together, though? That's my language, dude. I'm all about it. Alpha male shit. By the way, you're older than me. Let it. You drop dead after 20 foot. LOL. Dragging the sled? By the way, you're older than me. Flying Circus. Dude, I thought for some reason, no, not to be offensive, but I thought because I'm like, nobody picks the Flying Circus as a name, because that's a comic book from the 50s, unless they're older. So I apologize. If I'm older than you, no biggie, whatever. Oh, I thought you were 70, because I remember I was going to say, aren't you 70? But I'm like, you know what? I don't want to come off like an asshole. That pisses anybody off when, you know. The medicine balls, are good, but you can get a hernia from them. You got to be careful. When you slam those things, what happens is, so the muscles in the bottom of your stomach are very, very thin, and they're like this, right? And hernias, a lot of times, people are prone to them from birth. So it's not that they have obviously there's a weak area where the intestine can pop out when they do the movement. But so when your muscles contract in the up and down movement in that little area for slamming medicine balls, if you're prone to hernias, like it's a genetic thing, actually, if you read about it, you can get them easier than if it's tight. So that motion of the up and down slamming the medicine balls is actually not good. Now, if you're in a standing motion and you slam them on like a bag of sand that's like 4 foot high, so it doesn't get the bounce and it stops, and then you lift it again and slam it again. That's way better, and it's actually, you get a better exercise from that because it's way faster, way faster. Damn. Oh, I get it on the phone typos. Hey, I didn't want you to think I ignored you, Flying Circus. I'd seen that you and your lady went out and ran some errands. That's cool. Did you guys what'd you guys eat for dinner? Dude, so I'm waiting on you to respond. I had for dinner, I've had peanut butter. I've had half a jar of natural peanut butter today, a loaf of bread. But it's not like a bad loaf. It's a fucking, it's a baguette loaf, so it's like, and it's freshly baked, so that's how I justify eating as much of it as I want. But again, like my goal is to hike 7 to 8 miles tomorrow, so I imagine I'm going to need as much like cardio as I'm going to need as much carbohydrates as I can for that. At least loaded up in my system. Lobster. Oh, nice. Did you have the little crack things to bust the meat out of there and dip it in the butter? What did you have, or did you have it plain? I've seen we got some new viewers on here. Welcome to the channel. This is a wild channel. This is about adventure, entertainment, human connection, us talking, you chatting, me being as wild as possible without saying things offensive or getting arrested. So if you want, subscribe to the channel. If not, that's fine. I'm still going to keep putting up as much content as humanly possible until I die. All right. Leadhead, what's been going on with you, man? Dude, you never told me, what do you do for work? Leadhead. I never asked you that. I'm always I'm always being a hog and talking. Hey, I appreciate it. I am not Jim, but hello. Oh, Leadhead, you don't work? That's awesome. That's great, dude. Oh, I'm jealous. It depends if you need to work, man. Some people don't want to work. Dude, enjoy your life. Straight up. I already split the lobster. Great, right, with the two Filipino ladies. Nice. Okay. All right. Wait, so you guys had like a double date? It was you and your lady friend and then two Filipino women? All right. Well, that was scary. That car like almost smacked me, it felt like. What was that? Yeah, the light. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, that was kind of I got to be real careful when I'm in vehicles, dude. I get, oh, all right, I know that guy. I get prone to anger so fast I snap. So I just try to ignore certain things because it'll set me off the ringer. So some things I wanted to tell you guys about. I think you guys already know about them. Lead Hit and Flying Circus, and the other. Who's the other? Mailing. You. What's up? How you doing? Be situationally. My tongue twister. Situationally aware. Man, I struggled with that, huh? Oh yeah. So I went to a place today where there's another Vortex, and dude, these vortexes in Arizona, I'm pretty convinced are real because like it's like weird. Every time I go to a place where there's, so they don't know exactly where they're at. But every time I go to one, right before I get to it, I get this headache but it's not like, it's like a pressure behind my right eyeball. I'm like, oh, that's fucking weird. Every time, like clockwork, dude. And then I show up to the area and there'll be juniper trees everywhere, right? But there's particular spots that the juniper tree will be twisted, man, like it went through a tornado. I mean, all the way down to the root, but it's still alive. And I'm like, this is one of the spots. Like, and I was told, I talked about it in other ones, that those are the vortexes. But here's the thing, man. Like, so oh yeah, so here's a great story. So I'm gonna put the picture, I'll put the pictures up and the video up in my shorts feed. I'm gonna put it up for tomorrow. I try to keep those like a day ahead. So I'm driving. Man, that's the second time that car has done circles. That's making me fucking nervous. That's a different car. All right. So anyhow, I'm driving and there's beautiful red rock, and it's like a brick that's doused with splashes and lines that are painted with seafoam light green, and then orange, and then red, and it's just layers. And these, you look around and you think, where is the ambient music? It should be here somewhere, you know. And I'm driving and then I lose the signal. My radio takes a shit. And then no, this is I was at Red Rock State Park today. I was on my way there in Arizona at the time. So I pull in and I'm looking around and the sun's starting to set. I'll put those pictures up as well. And I pull into this area, and that thing happens in my eye. I'm like, that's fucking weird. So I pull up, and my radio got cut out like 5 minutes before that, which is a common thing up here. Even if you have a Bluetooth blaring, it gets cut off like crazy. So I'm going, and I lose the sound, and I'm like, son of a bitch. I was trying to play Deadmau5 because I love Deadmau5 when I'm driving. It's like it's the best. He's got really good music, number one, and number two, it's like, it's good to listen to. It's good traveling music to listen to. So I play the Deadmau5 mix, Tiny Dancer. It's a remix. It's really good. Go ahead and check it out if you want to hear a good EDM song. Anyhow, and then it's gone, right? And I pull up and I look, and it says the long trail on the sign, and then the radio comes in. Dun, 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 dun. It's one of his songs. It's called The Longest Road. It says The Longest Road. And I'm like, that's so fucking weird, man. The way like it just went on as I look at the sign, and then I go down, and there's a spot. I'll put the picture on the community. Go ahead and check it out after this live feed's over. There's one of the juniper trees, but it looks like a twisted bonsai. It's just twisted like this and turned and arched all these different directions. And I'm like, there's one of the vortexes, man. Because anytime you take a water prong where those type of trees are twisted like that, they start turning by themselves in this direction. And so what I'm going to do too, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get one of them water prongs. And I am totally gonna have, like, I'm gonna see it. I want to see it, and I'm gonna record it and put it on the channel, dude, because it's crazy. But this spot looked like you couldn't help but think that a shaman sits here and like watches over the earth. and I'll put that picture up there. And I took a picture of me standing next to the tree, but the area, the picture doesn't do the feeling that you get when you see what I'm talking about. It doesn't do it justice, because the expanse of the area is just so big and so deep. You know, it's like and then to envision like all this at one point was under the ocean. It was layers of the ocean, just like becoming sedentary over time, and it was blue and white. You know what I mean? Well, it was actually black if you could see the light though, and there was little creatures swimming around and all these things. And I started to wonder. I'm like, you know what? What if we're just revisiting these areas, all of us, all the people, and at one point we were these creatures in the bottom of the ocean, and our karma is just reliving where we've been before, and we just keep evolving with the karma each time, each time, each time. And then I started thinking, I'm like, what could the energy vortexes be? I'm like, wait a second, what if like, now this gets a little bit on the occult side, but I'm like, what if like aliens like dropped precious metals or types of fuel that they used into the water? Because it's like, it's a known fact that UFOs are all around water. If you go look it up, the Navy's making reports of it all the time. If you don't believe in UFOs, that's fine. They're real. All you got to do is go look up the I can't remember what act it is. It's an act where any citizen can look up secret documents after a certain amount of time. You can go look them up. There's like they've been reported by our federal government, by Russian governments. They've been reported by Chinese governments, by Indian governments, just all across the world, all the time. So I'm like, what if they landed there and like some of the precious metals? Freedom of Information Act request. That's it. You just go online and look at it. You'll find it. I looked it up. So, well, you're the man. You saved me from my stupidity. Anyhow, I wonder. I'm like, what if like there was nuclear energy, and it's now like it's still there because that's the way that type of energy works. But it's millions of years old because it's from an advanced civilization that was going in the water to cool down, to refuel, whatever. And I just can't help but think that stuff when I'm out there. And then I know this is gross to talk about, but I start walking around, right? Oh, so the first vortex I went to, there was a rock that I found that was in the ground that I stepped on when I was getting out of there. And on this rock was 4 drilled into the rock and coned onto the surface, like somebody had drilled into the rock and pulled out sediment. But it was layered. Like one was this long, the next one was like that long, the next one was like that long, and the next one was like that long, right? And I'm like, some sort of tool did that. And I was like, okay, it could be a human tool, right? And I usually don't talk about this stuff because I don't want people being like, oh, look at the long-haired guy living in his car thinking about UFOs. But some sort of advanced civilization was drilling in that. And this is how I know, too. I took a picture of it. I will also put it up on the community page. I'll put it up after this live feed so you all can go check it out because it was so fascinating to see. And I mean, I said it to my buddies who were so skeptical about things, and they're like, dude, I don't know what that is. So these lines were drilled. Like it looked like something off Ancient Aliens. But here's the thing. It wasn't a flat rock laying on the ground to where somebody could just carve it in there. This fucking rock was stuck in that dirt, way down in that dirt. So it was some sort of civilization, but it was drill holes. And you'll see it on the community page. I'll put it up there. It's clearly drill holes. And it's clearly as old as the rock because it's not. So a lot of times how they can tell the age of something is as it layers, the colors change. And when they get carbon base off that, the different color of the carbon will change for carbon dating. So on this rock, the color where the drill holes were was the same as the rock itself. So that means that it wasn't fresh. And it wasn't like 100 years old, man. You could see it was 4. And the thing is my buddy's like, oh, well, what if it's ice or some. And this is the other thing that I had said. He goes, oh, what if it's ice? I go, well, here's the thing, man. It's the space in between them was measured. you could see it's like perfect measurements. And the only reason I say that is because the planks I'm putting in my truck right now, I'm like, it's planked. I measured it, but you'll see it on the community. I'll put it up there, man. I'll put the twisted juniper tree where it was at for the energy vortexes. So if anybody's ever in Arizona, it's off of Airport Road in Sedona. You can check it out. I'll put the pictures up of the rock, and then I'll put what was it? Oh yeah, here's the other thing that was real weird about that whole situation. So I was Ubering, and somebody had told me about the energy vortex, and I'm like, it's bullshit. I'm not buying it. And I'm like, this is just some tourist stuff. They're trying to, the natives would be pissed, like the Native Americans, uh, if they like knew that how the white man was with capitalism and stories and twisting up their myths and all that stuff. So, um, it's a that's a really pretty woman. Sorry. Anyhow, so I'm going and I'm driving and I'm Ubering, and then all of a sudden I get this order, and I'm going to deliver the order, and it was different than the one that happened a couple days ago, and it drops the order. I'm like, dude, this shit's got to stop. I'm like, it can't keep happening to me. So, and what was scary was I was in a bad neighborhood, so I thought, and as it won't take the order. I call up Uber. I'm like, listen, I'm in a bad neighborhood, and you guys keep dropping my fucking orders, and I'm completely lost. I'm like, this is ridiculous. She's like, I'm sorry, sir. And I had to apologize. I was being an asshole to her. I felt bad in the end. And I apologized to her. But long story short, when I got lost, I was like, dude, I don't know where I'm at right now. I'm like, this is bullshit. And my phone would not get the signal back on, right? It just kept staying lost and going around and staying lost. And I look up and I'm like, huh, Airport Road. And that's where the guy said the energy vortex is at. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. And it was a beautiful sunset. I'll put those pictures up too. Beautiful, majestic sun setting, dude. Powerful, man. Like oranges and reds and a deep blue night sky I've never seen behind it, just settling. Like the night knows exactly when to let the sun fall asleep from our vision. So I pull up, I go up the hill, I park in the spot. I'm like, well, this must be it. So I walk up and I'm looking around, I'm looking around, I'm looking around. I'm like, I read the energy vortex. They're like, there's no particular spot for the energy. I'm like, see, it's a bunch of shit. And they're like, it did say this though. People who get near the energy vortexes get strange feelings and inspiration of creativity, which is the creative part is 100%. Dude, I've been writing poems every day again, and I'm working on the screenplay. I'm able to crank out 4 pages per day, like put it all together real smart and real smooth, the way I was able to do it a couple years ago when I was really honed into writing every day. And I'm like, and I look over to my left, and I seen that juniper that I'll put on the community page, and it was gorgeous, man. It was singing to me. I'm like, dude, that's it. And I just intuitively knew that. I'm like, that's the juniper tree that guy was talking about. I've never seen a juniper tree in my life, but I knew it was a juniper tree, and I looked him up afterwards, and it was. So I go to walk, and it's got this steel area that says cannot cross. And I'm like, I respect the land. I respect whoever put that there, and I'm just going to follow the rules because for 40 years, or for 40 years, I didn't really follow the rules. I just did whatever I wanted, and it didn't really get me in any other place but trouble a lot of times. So I'm going to follow the rules. And the sun started to set. People were walking around, and I turn around and I start to walk. And then all of a sudden, I see there's a trail that goes to the juniper tree that's around, not where they said not to go. And I was like, yes, follow the rules. And I went to the juniper tree, man, and I took this gorgeous picture of her. And I walked back, and then found that rock when I was walking back that I just talked about. So I'll put all that stuff up on the community page. It was absolutely amazing. It was just so powerful. But there really is something to if any of you are ever in Sedona or any of those areas, like you don't it's I'm not saying there's like a feeling, but your phone, you'll see it, your phone. But here's what's weird. The tree frogs and the crickets and everything, they would all be whistling and talking because it was nighttime, except around that juniper tree. You could hear nothing but silence, like an ambient silence. So that I thought was interesting. And it was still like that today when I went to the other one. It was the same way. So I'm pretty convinced that there's something going on there. But yeah, I had to spit it out of me. Usually I try to like give you guys stuff to listen to that's not boring and stupid. There is a ley line there. What's a ley line? It's all rock. I don't know what you know what though? What's a ley line? Because I'm all about if I'm wrong, I don't know what a ley line is. It does. Yeah, that's lead hit. I'm definitely. It does. It's different there, dude. The desert's different. Earth energy line. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but what's weird is these vortexes are all over. They're all over the world, but they're the most predominant in Sedona, Arizona, but mainly the desert. I'll tell you what. I'm not into the peyote and mushroom thing, but I tell you, if somebody was, I could only imagine what goes on in their brain when they're around those things. I wouldn't fart with it because it's. Here's the other thing about the energy. They're always right by a big cliff. Always. There's like always a drop where you can die. So you got to be real, real careful. But yeah, runs through. What do you, Malang? Do you know the what's the Malang? Do you know what's the story behind these? I've never heard of them, and I've been studying religions, shamanism, Christianity, all these different faiths from like 25 years now. So if you could like look them up, okay. It'd be easier if you told me. I can't lie. It really would, but that's all right. I'll look them up. I'll look them up tonight for sure. Look up ley lines. Okay. All right. Yeah, I've never even heard of it. But I'm sure the natives know about it. So I've heard rumors that there's areas where there's supposedly still ancient Egyptian like hieroglyphs and all these different things in the Grand Canyon that you're not allowed to go past. Like there's areas that they say like it's against federal law to cross this line and blah blah blah. I ain't gonna lie. There's a part of me when I heard that I'm like, that's bullshit. That's human history. Anybody should be able to go there. They have documentaries on them. Okay, cool. All right. Well, listen, everybody. It's been fun, but I'm getting so tired and I am ready for bed. And I have an interview in the morning. So I want to thank you all for watching. You're absolutely amazing. I'm going to go post those pictures on the community right now. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. If not, still come up to the live feeds. Let's hang out, talk, get to know you, rock and roll. Have a good night, everybody. Later.